If I asked you to complete all of your goals for 2026 in 3 months, do you think that you could do it? I think a lot of us would respond with resounding, absolutely the not. But I've got some tools that are going to help us be able to do that all next year. So let's dive in. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the Bougie Black Girls YouTube channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Dana, and today we are going to be diving into a little bit more of the goal setting side of things. Like I talked about in the last video, December Vlogmas is definitely going to be very centralized around the fun and the holiday spirit of December, but I spend a lot of this month thinking ahead and thinking about the type of new year that I want to have. And so I wanted to share another piece of that with you guys, which is how I create my vision board and how I'm going to be utilizing a strategy called the 12-week year, just to have a little bit more momentum and accountability in my goal setting. So if that's something that you're interested in, if that's something that you maybe want to do for yourself, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to start off, let's talk about what the actual concept of the 12-week year is. Like I mentioned to you guys in the last video, I don't really like most self-help books, but I've heard a lot of positive things about this book and this concept, so I decided to check it out and realize it was a really useful tool. So some of the hype, was rightfully attributed to the book, but essentially it's this idea of a year is a long time. 12 months, 365 days to complete a goal can sometimes be a very daunting task. And if you're somebody like myself who tends to fall into like procrastination and I'll do it later habits, giving yourself a whole year to accomplish tasks really does not set you on a good momentum to get to the finish line. And so thinking about your goals and what you want out of a year in just a 12-week period is a way for you to be a little bit more accountable and realistic with yourself about what you need to be doing each and every day to get things done. And it creates a sense of urgency that, at least for the way my brain is wired, is really necessary if I am going to do anything and do it in a timely manner. Moment of transparency, I tried this and failed miserably at it in 2025, just because I don't think I fully understood the concept and I didn't really understand how to make it work for me. But I decided to kind of reread the book and reintroduce it to my process for 2026. You guys know, if you've been watching the channel for a while, I consider myself a little bit of a multi-hyphenate. I've got a lot of things going on at all times, but I kind of like to live my life that way. I think it keeps things interesting. So between my full-time job, my aspirations in content creation, my job as a fitness instructor, and then also some of my personal fitness and performance goals that I have, there's a lot to do and a lot to think about on a daily basis. Thinking about those goals and just kind of collectively saying like, okay, I have to get all this done by December 2026. I think having a shorter timeline, I'm a very deadline driven person and I tend to be a horrible procrastinator. So having this concept and being able to sort of take that full list of goals that I have and chunk them out into smaller sections of the year is really going to help me get things done. So we have a general understanding of the concept. We understand why it works, or at least why it works for Dana. But how do we actually do this? And like I mentioned earlier, I combine this with my vision boarding process. And so how do we do all that good stuff? Now, I'm not going to let y'all see everything because you don't need to know all of my business. But I do want to give you a visual of how I at least plan to attempt to execute on this. So moving over to my laptop or a blank piece of paper, I think the first thing that I like to do in this process is just do a brain dump of everything that I want to accomplish in 2026. And in this process, I think it's really important not to limit yourself. Don't sort of tell yourself what you can't accomplish and what can't be done. From there, once you have that list and you feel like it's a reasonable list of things that you could get done within a period of a year, I would clean it up, make it pretty, and then I like to stick it right in the center of my vision board. And from there, I go online on Pinterest, on Lemonade, on Google Images, and just print out pictures and arrange them in a way on a poster board that is pretty and aesthetic. And I put that somewhere that I can see it every day. This particular poster board I got from Michael's. I kind of liked the clouds and the stars and, I don't know, the universiness of it all. It kind of, makes me think about like the power and the possibilities of manifestation if you're into that kind of thing. And it's gonna live in my office. I'll update it as need be, but it'll be a good visual reminder of what I'm trying to do. Once that's done and the arts and craftsy side of things have been completed, I kind of feel like my creative juices are flowing, and that makes me kind of bring some creativity into how I think I can execute. So I get another blank sheet of paper. You can do this on your laptop, or writing it out by hand is something that I personally find very effective. And I write down what I feel like I need to do in each quarter or each 12-week year to work towards these goals. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind as we are trying to actually put this into practice. You need to make sure that the things you are putting in each 12-week year are complementary to each other. So for example, one of your goals may be that you really want to get into fitness, you want to dedicate your time and your energy to health, and you want to set up a consistent gym schedule. But you also have another goal that you want to do a lot of traveling. You want to see the sights maybe in your state, in your city. Those two goals are not necessarily complementary, because a heavy travel schedule is not always conducive to a rigorous fitness regimen. And so you may have to move things around and focus on, let's say, your fitness goals first before you get into your travel, or vice versa. So I feel like this part of the process for me is a lot of Tetris, where I'm moving things around. I'm seeing what part of the year is going to be the most conducive for a particular goal that I have. And also a little bit of ranking of importance kind of comes into play here. I personally like to put the goals that are most important to me earlier on in the year, and that allows me to sort of start off strong in those areas and hopefully keep that momentum going. Things that are important but maybe I don't have that burning passion for right now can wait until a little bit later on in the year. And then from there, it's just time for you to start planning your first quarter. I like to utilize blank calendars that you can find on Canva, and I kind of just break it down literally day by day of the different things that I need to do, the different milestones that I need to hit each week, the different tasks that need to be completed every single day until we finally get to the last day of week 12. And at that point, the thing that I noted in that list should be done. I also think that this can result in multiple calendars as well. So for the example that you guys are seeing, I've got a lot of fitness goals that I'm trying to hit in my first 12-week year of 2026. And so in addition to a general calendar, this also resulted in a very detailed workout calendar for me. And it resulted in a weekly menu or meal plan, which is really just another version of a calendar. And so all of that I sort of grouped together, and it did take a lot of time. I would probably say it took me about maybe 6 hours spread out over the course of 3 days to fully plan my first 12-week year. But I do feel like it is the most detailed plan I have ever had when stepping into a new goal and trying to accomplish something for the new year. So really all I have to do is execute, and it's kind of up to me whether or not, I'm gonna do what I said I was going to do for myself. And then you can certainly keep this digital, but as an optional step that is very helpful for me as somebody who is a very visual person, in collaboration with sort of that visual vision board that we created, I also went to Michael's and purchased one of those big trifolds, and I'm going to print out those calendars and I'm going to put them on this trifold so I can literally kind of see my plan laid out. You may have to stack some of those, calendars on top of each other if you're going to print out every calendar for every month of the year. But like I said, I think this is a really great way for me to have a visual sort of check-in, something that I see that reminds me I need to be on top of my stuff. And then also, I think as I move through each month and hopefully multiple iterations of these 12-week years, it will kind of also show me how far I've come and what it really looks like for me to commit to a goal and hopefully complete it. Make sure that you are building in days in this process for you to plan your next month or your next 12-week year. And also make sure you are building in your rest days. And I think that is super important for those of us, me, hi, hello, who are chronic procrastinators and don't like to not have free time. You have to build it in either to some portion of each day, or like I do where I'm having a dedicated day where I'm literally just going to do nothing, that's going to be important for me to kind of hit the reset button and continue the momentum throughout the rest of the 12-week year. That's gonna be it for this video, you guys. I really hope that more of you try out the system. If you have experience with the 12-week year, please drop it down below. And if you have any questions about sort of my take on this, how I'm interpreting this, how I've used it a little bit in 2025 to be successful, you can also drop that down in the comments below. I would love to sort of engage in some conversations as we're all kind of stepping into this era of wanting to do better and elevate and grow in a tangible way.